disco. It's sweeping the country, but it's not just a dance. It's a multi-million-dollar business, and Miami is right in the middle of it. But it took a movie and a new superstar to make it boom. The movie is Saturday Night Fever, and the star is Welcome Back Kotter's John Travolta, disco dancing his way to fame. Ever since the success of the movie and its soundtrack, most of which is by the Bee Gees, the disco business hasn't been the same. The movie has grossed over $87 million, and the album has sold more than 10 million copies, on its way to being the biggest selling album of all time. The Bee Gees are the three brothers Gibb, Barry, Robin, and Morris. Two of them live on Miami Beach, and they all record at North Miami's Criteria Studios.
See, for the first time, along came an album and a film that related to today. I mean, for so many years, people have been making films about yesterday and the future. And, you know, people are not interested in the music of yesterday, not the young people of today. And this is the first time they've seen a film about today, and they can see themselves in the film.
The Bee Gees recorded their Saturday Night Fever album at Criteria in North Miami and are now cutting a new album.
Once in a while an album comes along that sells like this, and no one knows which one it's going to be. When we wrote all the songs to Saturday Night Fever, there was no album for it. No, you know, it was after we'd written them that someone came up to us, like Robert Stigwood, and said, "Would you write, you know, original soundtrack for a motion picture?" We'd already had them written, but we hadn't written them for a specific thing, you know. And it just so happens that they fitted in with the script.
But despite the overwhelming success of the movie, the Bee Gees told me they are not a disco group.
Not really a disco group. We do all kinds of music. And what happened with Saturday Night Fever, we were asked to write the music, and we did so. And they used the film as a disco film, which we weren't aware that was what was going to do. It was going to be done. And the music, I think the songs are stand on their own apart from disco. Because we can dance to them.
We have sort of done like disco stuff music before in the past, but always afraid to release it because everyone was so used to what we did, and we thought we'd lose that audience.
Nevertheless, they are being billed as a disco group, and their songs are breaking all previous records.
The album, Saturday Night Fever, is projected to sell some 12 million copies, which means it would gross around $195 million. Incredible. If that happens, and they're saying that it's just moments away from happening, if that happens, yes, indeed, it will be the highest all-time grosser, even ahead of The Sound of Music, which had the record for a long time.
If Staying Alive had come out 5 years ago, no one would have called it a disco record. It's simple as that. It's called disco, but because you can dance to it, I mean, it doesn't necessarily make it a disco song. I mean, you can dance to lots of songs.
Other songs. We simply have acquired the knowledge of what the public like.
We like making records that they connect with themselves, and also that they enjoy, make people happy.
We just like to relate to everybody. It's fair to say that the music in Saturday Night Fever is for dancing and things like that. But if you listen to our albums, you will hear that we don't just write and perform dance music.
If you want to say a typical obvious disco record would be, well, You Should Be Dancing. I mean, that's an obviously typical record title for a discotheque. But even still, it's a record that made everybody happy and jump. You know, that is pure disco.
When we cut that record, we cut a disco record.
And you can say How Deep Is Your Love is pure disco, even though it was used in a big discotheque film.
Staying Alive, it doesn't even mention the word disco or dancing in the song. Staying Alive is about survival in the big city. You know, and that's all it talks about.
Then do you think people made a mistake then?
No, they make a mistake. If you can dance to a record, it doesn't mean disco is short for discotheque. I mean, discotheques have been going for years.
Well, when Glenn Miller was around, there was a dance band. It was no further than that. They were a dance band, and they were the most popular band in the world.
In addition to recording here, the Bee Gees also make Miami their home. I asked them why.
Well, because a lot of popular music is coming out of here. Yeah. I mean, that's why. I mean, Chicago next door right now.
I might add, very lovely bunch of fellas too. Very nice.
There's a lot of people coming here to record, and that's what is happening is that most popular music is starting to come from Miami.
But not all groups are lucky enough to have their songs in a hit movie, which gives them radio play, and at the same time makes the records big in the clubs. The Bee Gees are an exception. Anna Asqui, Channel 4 News.